Alright, now without the introduction, so yeah, we're here again, back again for the Sinder's drama. Although there's a lot of things that's showing up right now for like the past 2 weeks or maybe a week ago, I don't know. So anyway, we're gonna be continuing on what we left off from this part. Alright, don't mind me if I'm eating. I'm hungry right now.
And this time suggesting a merch collaboration and insisting they could make tons of money from it. Silvervale politely declined again. I'm really flattered by their persistence, but I'm just not interested in transactional relationships with anyone. I hope you can understand. I will always prioritize my mental health and peace over any potential profit that would make me feel used transactionally and put me out of my comfort zone. This, coupled with screenshots from Redacted, sounds so much crazier in hindsight. Knowing that all the shit talking, the collab requests, and even the photo at the meet and greet, all of that happened before Silvervale had ever even turned them down. In one message, Red says, like, at the end of the day, it isn't about how much we make compared to her, we just want her to be recognized. Hey, Cinder's a big VTuber too. She got there on her own merits, just like you did. Get along. And the marketing potential and money they could make if they teamed up. I just know anything we do, she's watching and will take from or try to outdo. Their insistence on being acknowledged by someone they clearly despised in private reads less like professional frustration and more like insecurity masked as entitlement. It's not just petty, it's pathetic. Silvervale also explains that she had worked with Nanoless for years and considered her a friend. The two had been planning a new birthday model together, something personal, something special, and something Nano herself had been genuinely excited about. But then Nano suddenly backed out. At the time, she told Silvervale it was due to health issues and stress, and Silver accepted that without question. But after seeing the screenshots, where Redacted specifically asks Nano not to make any new model or outfits with Silver again, the truth hit differently. And then Redacted checked again with Nano just to make sure she hadn't told Silvervale that the cancellation was because of Sinder. Because
Okay, so not only he just said he wanted to check him double checking. I guess Redacted got a little bit too worried that Nano go, you know, stabbed them in the back that were cancelled because of this part. Hmm, this is gonna be a one. Mm-hmm.
they knew if that ever came out, it would open one hell of a Pandora's box. Silver writes, I am now aware that the actual reason for her declining to work with me was external pressure from Redacted and Sinder. Words cannot describe how heartbroken I was and am. What's even more insane is that the duo was actively putting pressure on Nano to cancel Silvervale's model just a mere month after the TwitchCon meet and greet. On the outside, they wanted everyone to believe they were on good terms, and in that same breath, they were working behind the scenes to sabotage her project. Silvervale then echoes a sentiment many others have since shared. I find it impossible that he acted solely on his own intentions without Cinder's knowledge or consent, given the extent in which he had represented her publicly and professionally. And what's most chilling? Right before Nano canceled the model, Cinder sent her a Discord message celebrating the fact that they shared art. And all while fully aware that she and Redacted were pressuring Nano behind the scenes to walk away. She ends the document with, Cinder and Redacted have spent years sabotaging me for no understandable reason. I have never done anything to warrant this other than just existing as Silvervale. It's hard to express how crushing a feeling it is to be talked about so cruelly and maliciously without my knowing, and to know opportunities and friendships were taken away. Now, all of that had happened in the span of a single day, and you would think that things would start to calm down from that point onward, but no. In fact, things got so much worse. Day 2 got kickstarted with Cinder finally releasing her long-awaited response in the form of her own Google Docie. She starts by confirming what many already suspected. Redacted has been my co-content creator since I began making content, and we've been in a relationship since the beginning.
Yeah, that's all it is.
She explained she kept her personal relationship private, but now that it's public, she has no reason to hide it anymore. As of now, Red no longer works with her, and she says their personal situation will be handled privately. Then comes her attempt to explain the bigger picture. After years of working on everything together, his hyper-businesses-oriented outlook warped my view. I lost sight of the point. She admits the behavior wasn't healthy, but this is one of the few places where she accepts any personal accountability. Sinder says Red
Bruh.
handled most communications with Nano through DMs. She shared a project server with her, but only for work-related updates. She claims she wasn't aware of how controlling Red had become over Nano's commissions and says, I should have been more diligent in my oversight. From her point of view, Nano always seemed eager and happy to take on work. Sinder says she never pushed for exclusivity, only that Red did, and she now sees how unfair that was. She also insists she was only aware of one creator being blacklisted, implied to be Silvervale here, not Bao or Cotton. If she'd known, she says she would have stepped in. Her early DMs to Nano, she calls them very guilt-trippy, but says she ultimately tried to respect her boundaries. Sinder also says she has no idea about recent Red Nano conversations involving Shy Lily, and that while she had expressed concerns about Lily's silence, Red had acted on his own for this. She denies knowing anything about Gary's model project either. Sinder also attempts to clarify the now infamous "it's just business" screenshot, which sparked widespread backlash. She claims it wasn't about canceling any model, but her acceptance of Nano working with other clients. Me saying it's just business was referring to my acceptance of Nano's business decision. But was it really? Let's take a look at the actual exchange. Nano says, I fought on canceling some models because of it, but then I realized it's not really fair to me. And Sinder responds, I understand what he means, but at the end of the day, it's just business. Of course we love working with you and want to keep working together, but if you prefer to work with other clients instead of me, I know it's for a reason for you to help grow and not because you don't like me. Listen, either I'm horrible at picking up context clues or something, but if Sinder really meant it's just business in a chill, supportive way, that vibe did not make it through the screen. Now, to understand what happened with Silvervale, Sinder says you have to go back. Before becoming Sinder, she was Tachi, a cherry blossom themed ASMR creator, and in 2020, she and Red began designing her VTuber persona, a pink and white wolf girl. Then, Silvervale debuted her Sakura wolf redesign, and they decided to pivot. We knew we had to pivot before we were stuck with a design that would just be a copy. That pivot became the Hellhound version of Sinder, mixing Okami with metal. Red coined the name Sinder, combining sin plus Sinder. She says the similarity to Silver was coincidental and that she genuinely wanted to be friends, even drawing fan arts of the two together. But behind the scenes, comparisons to Silver began to eat away at her confidence. It really felt like she didn't like that I even existed in the same space. Eventually, she brought up the idea of no longer letting Nano design for Silvervale, admitting it was rooted in insecurity and completely undeserved. Silver was completely undeserving of this treatment. I became unapologetically evil towards her due to no direct action of her own. Now, on Spite and her design overlap, Sinder claims she had no idea Red was bad-mouthing Spite in DMs with Nano, saying, my only personal involvement with excluding someone was Silver. She explains that her own model sheet, including the ripped shirt and shorts, was finished in early 2021. When she saw Spite's later designs incorporating fire elements, she assumed it was copying, but now realizes she jumped to conclusions. She insists she never acted on those assumptions beyond venting privately to Red. As for other similarities, the blue flame merch art and sleepy outfit, she says all of them were either long planned or coincidental, or in the case of the waifu cup, a choice made by the artist. As for the angel outfit, the angel design had been planned since 2023, and she intentionally leaned away from religious imagery to focus on a Greek Valkyrie aesthetic, which, as a history buff, personally offends me because the Greeks did not have Valkyries. In the end, she concludes, Spike never should have received the hate comments, and I never advocated for anyone to do so. Cinder also addresses the story mentioned by Spite, a smaller ASMR creator she assumed was Neon Tails, who said she was harassed for using a Hellhound OC. Cinder admits she overreacted. It was undoubtedly created using me as a reference, and I overreacted. She apologized, the creator adjusted the design, and Cinder believed it was resolved. In the final section of the document, Cinder opens up, taking responsibility for her actions and issuing direct apologies to nearly everyone involved. She admits she cheated on her boyfriend years ago with Rain, using him for emotional support and escapism during her ASMR career. I was immature, vulnerable, and emotionally distant in real life. She also addresses her growing distance from friends like Peaches,
Bruh.
attributing it to burnout and a poor work-life balance. I've always had a low social battery. I rarely had the energy to keep up. To her community, she says she knows she failed them, especially those who looked up to her. And in her final statement, she pins much of the damage on Red's influence. The harm Red had caused with the way he viewed things is irreparable. I'm devastated that the friendship so special to me may, understandably, never be mended again. I love my job and I love all the friends I've had. Thank you for reading. Cinder. And how was this apology received? With outrage.
Well, it's fucked. Yeah, because if you are a creator, you're gonna be managing all of this stuff. And that's why I only pick only few people. That's why I'm starting my career as just few people for now. Like few access from my things and social media. Yeah, that's how it is. You don't know how many you don't know how many moves that they can do when it comes that way when they have the authority. So yeah. That's why I only have like 2 or 3 mods right now, and I only have like 45 people that is around with me. The rest of them are game buddies. Okay. Okay.
Not just disappointment,
No, no,
full-blown backlash. Rather than putting out the fire, Cinder's response
it's not enough.
poured gasoline on it. What was meant to be a heartfelt reckoning ended up fanning the flames even further. The biggest issue was her constant emphasis on Redacted, painting him as the mastermind behind her actions while she stood by unaware. To many, it sounded like a carefully constructed cop-out, a narrative where her manager/boyfriend just happened to be manipulating everything behind the scenes, building her brand like some Machiavellian puppet master, while she conveniently claimed ignorance. And the public, they just weren't buying it. And from a legal standpoint,
Yep.
it could have also qualified as tortuous interference. Convincing an artist to drop clients behind the scenes? That's sabotaging business relationships. Even if Fred was the one pulling strings, Cinder could still be held accountable under vicarious liability since he was acting on her behalf. Ignorance doesn't excuse responsibility, as Legal Mindset, a lawyer, commented.
Here's what I've been saying in the VTuber community for over a year. And here's the thing that nobody's been listening to me on, and I'm going to call it out right now because this is the reason why Cinder is 100% implicated, because this is the manager. And when you call somebody a manager, you are giving them agency and authority. So any action a manager takes is as if it is an extension of the VTuber. The manager is your agent. That is your action. You are responsible for that. So everything Redacted does, Cinder is 100% legally on the line for. 100% legally through, somebody said in the chat, vicarious liability. They are a representation of you. Legally, this is why people are idiots for calling these people managers. I'm sorry, they're on the fucking line.
That's the point. If you have your own channel or you have your own business, every employee that you have, like let's just say this guy is a manager and a team manager and a representative, that is your still responsibility. Yes. Those are your people. Those are the ones who making the control. It's just a part of you. Of course, they said in the business, there's no man's island, or I don't know what it calls. Like you're not able to do it alone. You have to need someone's help. So that's why if you need someone's help, you're having an extension like your manager. For me, I put Num as a mod from my channel, and also from the I gave it the authority from the being from the Discord, which is it's fine. It's still fine. I just don't hope that he doesn't fuck it up everything, or touch anything, or add something, or spam anything. Please don't. That's the only one Discord that I just made just from scratch. So anyway, that's how business works. If you have a representation of anyone from being a manager, it's your liability.
Under US law.
People were hoping for true accountability, a direct acknowledgement of what she had done and how deeply it had hurt those around her, not her hiding behind her manager's back. And now people were furious. Bao responded, "How? How can you say you didn't know? I showed you both my base model sketch from Nano at WeebCon. We walked on stage and performed together. You were in the group chat where I shared my sadness over Nano suddenly canceling my model after we were so close to begin in Live 2D and rigging. And to now find out that just a day before I shared my sadness, this is the conversation that happened that ruined months of debut prep, planning, and merch preparation. If you want to apologize to me, please do it properly and stop hiding behind red." And then Shy Lily came in the replies with the steel chair. The absolute audacity to sit here and continue to manipulate and gaslight is absolute insanity. The pain and mental torment you've caused to the ones closest and most supportive of you has been devastating, and I have never been so heartbroken and hurt so badly for my friends. You are the fakest person I've ever had the displeasure of supporting, reading and hearing of how you've really viewed me behind my back, not just through screenshots of your man, but also your very own messages while having to sit here and read through these bullshit lies you spin makes me want to vomit. To claim that you didn't know a single thing and had zero awareness of what your man was up to, when everyone who's shared even a single moment with you knows that you basically operate as the same person, sharing every waking moment while loving to jump at the slightest opportunity to turn into your most slanderous self as soon as the opportunity was given. Even when talking about your friends is sickening. I have experienced your own actions without Red, in a situation where in your own screenshotted words you expressed a pressure to live up to what Lily is, and proceeded to throw one of your most loyal and supportive friends under the bus after months of continuous planning just because you consistently chose business over friends, never feeling bad for failing them. Just to earn the bag and compete with me over a V-Card collab that you rescheduled to be on the exact date your friend needed you to keep an important promise. You actively lied about it to them, instead blaming me for a collab you rescheduled, adding me to the pool of excuses to save your ass when you realized you were being a bad friend. Why blame me for choosing to miss an obligation you agreed to on one of the most important days in that friend's career? Everything you do is out of competition through your constant need to one-up the people who are the sole reason you even have these opportunities and platforms to earn from to begin with. You're welcome, by the way. You claim that it's just business? Well, in the business world there has to be accountability, and all you've done is try to shove it away and admit to nothing. In true narcissistic fashion, you're only feeling sorry about yourself and your own consequences and your career and try to salvage it. I'm sorry for everyone who looked up to you as an inspiration, and I'm especially sorry for your fans. Pyro Pups deserve better. Then came Aru's test.
Ah, fuck. That's gonna be one harsh words from that one. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's good. And that's why. Even at my work, I'm being accountability because I can't. I was not able to make a sales, which is, yeah, I'm stuck at sales. But when it comes to fixing something, maybe I can't. I'm just letting. I really can't do anything. That is how business works. But what I can do is that I can play games. That's all. I love playing games. I can't. I can't. But when it comes to the part of the process. Yeah, that's the only thing that I do know. Process. I know how to process, but when it comes to the knowing something and some random shits. But anyway, that's how it is. That's how it is. Yep. You know what? I can't tell anything because this is only like business perspective, which is I'm not good at it. Anyway, let's continue.
Testimony. We've talked about Aru on this channel before. She's no stranger to being taken advantage of. In the past, she was involved in a similar situation with another VTuber, Yakirisu, who allegedly used her to climb the social ladder while bullying her behind the scenes and badmouthing her to other creators in an effort to sabotage her career. So when Aru saw Sinder's apology, it all felt eerily familiar. And that's when she spoke out. Not because she was as directly affected as others, but because the patterns were impossible to ignore. It's clear now that I was lied and used, not treated as a friend, but as a tool. From being pushed into facilitating a collab with Silverveil to later realizing that the entire connection may have been orchestrated, Aru's experience is another damning example of how Sinder manipulated relationships to get what she wanted, and discarded people when they no longer served a purpose. At the time, Aru thought she was just helping a friend. She attended Silverveil's meet and greet with Sinder, something that to her felt like a heartfelt invitation. As someone who didn't grow up with many social invitations, that gesture felt special. But in hindsight, it became clear that the invite wasn't out of friendship, it was strategic. Sinder saw her as a bridge to Silverveil. After the introduction, she even pushed Aru multiple times to ask Silverveil for a collab, despite Aru being someone who rarely initiates collabs at all. Now I know that wasn't true, and realizing that she actually harbored resentment the whole time against Silverveil makes me feel completely used. I wasn't a person to her, just a connection. Over time, the dynamic shifted. Aru noticed Sinder no longer treated her like a real friend, and even hinted in person that she didn't like her. Aru believes this coldness may have been because she didn't push hard enough for that collab with Silver. By 2023, their friendship had all but disappeared. Aru admits she didn't know how to set boundaries at the time, but she's since learned. Sinder's apology in her eyes felt performative, especially towards Silverveil. And beyond just this situation, Aru reflects on how certain figures in the community made her feel isolated and unwelcome. People like her, Yaki, and others made me feel that the best choice for myself was to step away from VTubing entirely. She ends her message by echoing the feelings so many shared during this controversy. What I went through wasn't nearly as intense as what Nanolith experienced, but I do understand how hard it is to say no to a friend, especially when they make you feel like you're the only one who can help.
Well, that's a really fucked up thing. That's why I only have like few friends. Yep, that's why I only have few friends. Except for the people that I get along with right now, including Icarus. Hey Icarus, if you're here and watching this video, hey, you're my boy. Ghost and other people that I know, Def, a lot. Def, Sammy, Elbud. There are many more people, but I can't remember their names. There are many of them, including Kitchen. There are so many names that I can tell, but I can't. I can't remember all of them due to my, memory. My memory is fucked right now.
The next day, a few of the girly pops go live to talk about the situation. Bao starts first by sharing her side of the story, and honestly, just sounds completely defeated.
I think the point of this stream is so I can return to some semblance of normalcy after everything.
She explains that the Thursday before everything blew up, Shy Lily messaged her asking to talk about something important. But Bao told her she was scheduled to have her IUD removed that day. Knowing how anxious Bao already was, Lily chose to wait, not wanting to add more stress before surgery. It's an important detail, because Bao has been struggling with severe PMDD, a condition where her menstrual
PMDD. Let me look that up. Where's my PMDD? Let's see. I'm watching this documentary, but why it's look like uh, holy shit. Okay, PMDD is the premenstrual dystrophic disorder. What is this thing? Okay. Based on the Cleveland Clinic, PMDD is a serious form of premenstrual syndrome, or PMS, which is the physical and emotional symptoms that every menstrual cycle in the week or two before your period. It can have extremely irritability, anxiety, or depression, much worse. These are symptoms improve a few days of the day. How common? At 10%. Okay. Mostly this is a woman's type health condition. It's not affecting from us dudes. It's only for the woman. Or sometimes. I don't know. I don't know if this is a dude thing, but as it says here, it's only like 10% of the people, so it's very rare thing. So anyway, let's continue on. It's premenstrual cycle, which is it's for the woman's side. So anyway,
cycle causes debilitating pain and emotional distress. She's tried multiple treatment and the IUD was supposed to help, but then it didn't, which is why it has to be removed. Bao describes going through some very difficult moments at the time.
Basically, just have very bad PMS times a million. I'm spend half the month very depressed with a lot of feelings of worthlessness. Sometimes it is so bad that I question whether or not I want to keep living. And I've dealt with that my whole life, and so have a lot of other girls. And I'm glad that when I made my tweet, so many girls spoke to their own experiences. It's very lonely having chronic illnesses.
The surgery was then rescheduled once again, and Bao had to tell Lily a second time that they'd need to postpone their call. Finally, after the procedure, just 48 hours before the Nanoless Google Doc dropped, Bao got on the call with Lily, having no idea what was coming. What she learned went far beyond anything she could have imagined.
Felt like I don't think there was a good time anyway. Why was I even considered a threat at all? I felt like, how could you accuse me of being a thief when I spent 5 hours talking to our editor, telling him and assuring him that I would never stop being his friend even if he took an exclusivity deal with you. It would mean I would only have 2 editors for my channel. And like, that still did not stop me from considering your...
wow, you only have like 2 editors just to work on. God damn. Sheesh. Glad that I do my edits on my own. Well, that's a loss. Let's see. Let's just, this is gonna be a hard take for them to move it on, but yeah, different people, different types are, what they're gonna do. But for them, I can't say anything that much. I can't give them or inform what type of that they can do because she was enduring this for a week now. She may need something like a physical, a physical hug, not a digital hug, a physical hug, a literal one. Maybe she got get better from that one. Anyway, let's.
Your financial well-being and the success and growth of your channel, and they could not even spare the same thought for me. Like, you do not know how many times I was told to put in my Google Doc the fact that you had a significant other, and no matter how many people told me to put it in and how stupid I would be to not put it in, I could not bring myself to put it in because I knew that what that would do to your reputation, and you could not spare that same thought for me. I feel like
I don't know what the fuck is this ad doing.
I was tasked with an impossible choice.
Oh, look
And-
at that gray mark. What the fuck?
I hated, but I had to be in the position where it had to be me to say something or no one else would. And it's not about whether or not I'm right or wrong, but it's the fact that I didn't even want to be in this position to begin with. And I know that for so many people to be affected, that it was the right decision to do. But it really fucking sucks that I had to do it in the first place.
Bao then revealed shocking new information about what really happened during Numi's New Year concert and Cinder's role in it. According to Bao, Cinder cancelled on Numi at the last minute, backing out of a concert they had been planning together for over half a year. With everything on the line, and although she was in pain, Bao rushed to help her friend, taking a 6-hour flight just to fill in and make sure the show could go on. Bao really is a ride or die friend.
Numi forgave you when you didn't come to her concert, that you were planning with her for over half a year. I wonder if you knew how devastated she was. And at every single pivotal moment where you had the choice to be a good person and a good friend, you chose not to be. And no matter how many times me and our friends try to wrap our heads around it and try to make sense of it, we can't. We can't, because every single time we come to the realization that that's not what we would do if we cared.
When Numi goes live, however, she gives us additional details about the concert Bao had mentioned during her livestream.
Fly to New York with me and do the concert with me, and she didn't have to, but she did. And I think it's been said many times that how she's my best friend, but she saw me in a state like that, and even though she was hurting, she put all of that aside just to be there for me, and to be there for me when Cinder couldn't even tell me herself how she felt. And I feel so fucking mad.
Yet even after Cinder cancelled on one of the most important dates of her career, Numi would have forgiven her, granted if it was for any other reason than business. But Cinder let her down.
I get a message from her a couple days after my concert saying that she couldn't go because she felt responsibility as I said that the number one thing that I didn't want to hear was if she talked to me, if she put business above her friends. And I would have literally accepted anything else, but the reason that she gave me was putting business above me, over her new position and how she felt obligated to do this, a stream that she said she had to do. And I said, yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. And I think at that point, that's when I kind of felt like my view started to crumble a little bit. Then afterwards, after I didn't reply, sent a message saying maybe they can make it after all. And then getting a message from Red saying she felt really guilty she couldn't go and we want to make it so that we can be there for you. And I think that's what really caused me to want to say something, and I did. And I messaged Sinder and I expressed my disappointment, and she apologized and told me all of the reasons that she should have said instead of bringing up the business. And I forgave her, but I saw that she brought up a collab that she said she couldn't miss. And I didn't believe that, because if there's one person outside of Bao that I know would not put business over me, it's Lily. And I found out that I was lied to and that this was something that could have definitely been changed and didn't have to be on the day of a concert.
We can see here that Numi's concert was dated February 1st, and Cinder's post announcing the collab she ditched the concert for on February 1st as well. So the dates line up. Nevertheless, Numi still believes there was real love between all of them, and at the end of the day, she's mostly just deeply hurt by how it all unfolded. She ends with a line that perfectly captures the heartbreak. I've never seen somebody shine so bright, ruin themselves and the beauty they emitted like that. Now, the next day, Shy Lily went live to express her thoughts on the apology, and she's pissed. She explains that it all started when she found out she was being slandered, learning that Cinder had been making all kinds of accusations to Nanoless behind the scenes, painting her as a problematic and difficult individual to work with.
The actual starting point, the dominoes fell, when one thing leaked. One singular thing, like 5 or so days ago. It was about me being slandered, throwing all kinds of accusations around to Nano, making me seem problematic.
That's when the group realized this wasn't just isolated incidents, but it was a year-long pattern of constant slander.
Those weren't isolated incidences. It was a year-long pattern. Everything connected. It was a pattern that consisted over years.
Lily explains that she was willing to let it rest after Bao and Nano had spoken up and shared their experiences. But then the apology dropped, and the lack of accountability and the fact that she found out she was used as an excuse to let Numi down during her concert made her furious.
For her to claim she has no knowledge when I know for a fact she does, but I have no proof other than hearsay, it reminded me of that one fact, the one receipt we do have though, where she herself personally throws me under the bus. And I made sure to quote her own words, because again, that screenshot isn't public. She'll know what we're talking about. And the fact that she only took accountability for stuff that's been published and not the stuff that was kept hidden says enough for me. To have her use me as part of an excuse as to why she had to let her friend down, that very same friend that spent months of prep, hard work and effort and received a million empty promises, just because a couple days before that she wanted to reschedule a V-Card collab to, you know, make a nice big boom as a collab and sell a bunch of boxes to make some bag. People saying, why didn't you handle this private? We did once. And she's only deflecting and pretending to be apologetic when put on the spot. No proper apology from her before the crash out. None. She's only sorry when she gets caught, because she knows fucking with that friend that she fucked with will mean the end of her career. Because if you're not good standing with that person, you're not good standing with like probably 80% of the indies that mattered to her. She wasn't sorry because she fucked over her friend's opportunity on a day that she said she'll be there. She was sorry she was caught.
That's most likely. Okay. My take with this one, if you already, because it's only like it's a very slick, it's very not very found of. So yeah, that's how business works. Business over friends. You needed to like, I I wanted to say something, but I don't want to add more fuel or add more bullets to the one that's currently happening. And this has been happening for over like 3 months now, or 5 months before this. There's so many things.
In true narcissistic, selfish, egoistic fashion.
Indeed, quietly cutting ties in a situation like this wouldn't have fixed anything. It wouldn't discredit the lies Sinder had already spread. If anything, it could actually make things worse. Without addressing it publicly, it might reinforce the rumors to others that Sinder had spoken to. People could easily assume, wow, Shy Lily doesn't collab with Sinder anymore and never said why. Something must have happened. And that's exactly why they decided to speak out. To set the record straight and make sure the silence wasn't mistaken for guilt.
So that's why. Well, for anyone who or people who knows how to observe something, if you ask something like that and they don't answer it, so that means there's more deeper meaning from that. Why they took it out of the bag. That's why. Well, it's better be to play on your own, friends. If you're gonna be doing a content creator, do it on your own without any promotion. You're able to get it up without any issue, and that's why I don't want to do something like that. But I do appreciate if someone mentioned me out. I'll take it. I don't mind. Except from don't pull me into somewhere of drama like political drama on fire or something topics that I'm not gonna be handling. Other than this.
The Silvervale livestream, however, uncovered what may be the most unsettling part of Cinder's and Red's behavior. She showcased the pattern of bullying and manipulation that stretched back years, seemingly fueled by nothing more than the fact that both she and Sinder were Wolf Girl VTubers. What started as shared team somehow spiraled into a long-standing obsession, one that simmered behind the scenes, completely unbeknownst to Silvervale herself.
I had no idea how much I was dealing with, you know? Like, I just thought I was really unlucky.
Okay, her face doesn't match her expression right now, okay.
Or the people just didn't like me. You know? And to find out that, like, I've been, like, systematically being torn down for years. Yeah, I don't like drama. I don't want to be in it. I did not want to make that doc. I did not want to put it out. I was really asked if I wanted my name censored, and I wanted it censored so that people wouldn't know that it was me. But when I went back and looked at the doc, or the pictures about everything that happened, and I went back to my messages with her, and I saw that one where she was so excited that we shared art and we shared a model, and I didn't think anything of it at all. And then I saw the fucking timestamp on it, and I just couldn't take it, man. It was so fucked up. It was so vile and cruel and malicious for no reason. Like, knowing the background behind it, I just really felt like I had to say it, because I feel like that was an important other aspect of what was going on, because I didn't know her. I wasn't her friend. I was just someone that she beat down progressively over years for no reason.
Silvervale then describes a really weird and somewhat controlling situation that happened with Sinder in the past.
She had this fan art of me and her, and she made a ship tag, Cindervale. She's the one that came up with that art tag.
Yep.
And she talked about how close our designs were, and that she wanted to be wolf girls together. And it was so strange, because I didn't know this person. Like, she she just came out of nowhere. And the art was sweet, but I didn't want to retweet that. Like, I don't want to push a ship tag.
Following this, Sinder actually reached out to Yochi, Silver Model Mama, to ask why Silvervale's real mom didn't retweet a piece of fan art.
And
Yep.
what was really weird is, so my mom retweets tons of art of me, and she's amazing and I love her so much. And she didn't retweet that one. So Cinder's manager messaged Yochi. I don't know why they messaged Yochi. Maybe because they didn't want to message my mom. But they messaged Yochi asking why my mom didn't retweet the art. Which is such a weird thing to do. Like, what? So that was the first thing in a whole slew of things where it really just felt...
That's one weird thing. Why did you ask that her mom wanted to retweet the post that you made? What the fuck is that shit? I'm not gonna even ask for my own mother to, Ma, can you like my video? Nah, I'm not doing that. But if my mother asks me to like her video, I'll do it because that's my mom. But in this side, don't know what that is. I really don't.
Like, this person does not care about me and is not genuine, and I don't want to deal with it.
Silvervale then elaborated on the whole meet and greet photo situation, clarifying that at conventions, it's generally expected that pictures will be taken of you. That's part of the experience. But what caught her off wasn't the photo itself. It was how Cinder posted it, framing it like they were close when in reality, they'd barely spoken.
The fact that it was like a candid picture from far away at the perfect angle to make it look good, and then insinuate that we were closer, like wolf girls together, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know you. I want you to leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. And that's the reason I haven't done any meet and greets since then. Because I've been so scared. I know it's really fucked up and stupid, but
I like that. Hold on, just a sec. I like that one guy just posted.
I've been so scared. I know it's really...
He's being a creep. I like this one. That's a nice one.
Really fucked up and stupid, but I didn't want to deal with it again because you would... I would never lash out and try to ruin someone's career. Like, people get compared all the time, but no one fucking does this. This is insane.
But then came another shocking revelation. After releasing her document, Silvervale was contacted by several artists who admitted they had canceled projects with her because they believed the lies Cinder had been spreading behind the scenes. This moment really crystallized exactly why going public was necessary. Like the others, Silvervale had no idea who Cinder had spoken to or how far the damage had spread. She had feared this would happen, and now she had proof it already had. In that light, putting out a Google Doc wasn't drama, it was damage control. It was the only logical move left.
And I guess I'm really glad that I put that part in there about worrying that she had been saying things about me, because that was true, apparently. They told me that she had told them that I hated her and I was this malicious person and that I was so mean and I just hated her so much, like usually conveniently right after doing a project or an art piece or something with me that got traction, and she didn't like it. And they told me that hearing that made them less inclined to work with me again because they think I'm this evil, terrible person. Because why would she say that if it wasn't true? Like, why would you lie about someone? And that happened so much. Like, it wasn't just Nana, it was so many other people. And like, I wish someone would have told me if this was going on for so long. But you don't think that someone's gonna lie to you, right? Like I understand why people didn't tell me. If you think that I'm like this evil person that just hates everyone, like...
Silvervale then shares how she had been excited for an Oblivion team model that was going to be made by the artist Limebreaker, but out of nowhere, the artist suddenly became unavailable, saying they'd taken on a large commission. Silver strongly implies that Sinder was behind it. Yet, another moment where a promising project was quietly derailed.
But even like I was so excited for the Oblivion launch, and I was like, I want to get another model from Linebreaker, just like my Fallout one that's interactive and swaps weapons, and like we collect stuff over time, and that'll be so cool. And then Lime has a big commission and he can't do it. And then guess who that commission's for? Like I wasn't someone she interacted with on the daily like her friends. Like I was no one. Like why did you have to step on me?
Now you might think, surely this situation is over now. But wait, there's more. Because then came another Google document, this time from the artist Nixu. If you've been in the VTuber or fan art space, you've likely seen her work. She's known for her gorgeous, ethereal-looking illustrations that seem to glow off the screen. She's instantly recognizable and deeply admired. But in this case, her post wasn't to share new art. It was to share an experience one meant to warn other artists about valuing their work and setting clear professional boundaries. The only attention I want is from people enjoying my work, she writes. Nixu explains that due to long-standing visibility issues and shadow banned main account, she had created a collaboration system for her new Twitter account. She would offer free art to VTubers she admired in exchange for Patreon shoutout. A simple visibility for value trade. You get a free artwork with commercial rights and they get a shoutout. One of the creators she reached out to was Sinder. At first, the exchange seemed promising. Red responded on Sinder's behalf, confirmed interest, and agreed to the conditions multiple times, including the Patreon credit, and even a not safe for work variant for Cinder's fansly. Excited and hopeful, Nixu streamed the process, tested compositions, and put weeks of work into the piece. But partway through, something changed. After reiterating the agreement a third time, the tone of the responses shifted. Eventually, Red messaged her and said, "Nix, I spoke to Sinder, and there must have been a miscommunication on my part somewhere. She's okay with retweeting and commenting on your art when you post it, but is afraid it'll be viewed as unfair to other artists who draw her if she showcases the art and your Patreon. So she's okay with forfeiting the commercial."
What? Okay, so that's a damning thing right now. Well, nope. Yep, it's on downfall now. Shit. Oh no.
Commercial rights and ability to post it that you've offered. But to Nixu, that was devastating news. The
Yep.
Patreon visibility was the entire reason she offered the art for free. She had
Bruh. That art is for free. She giving you the free art, then you're gonna be only shouting out from the Twitter and the Patreon. And also that was an event. I don't know. Business. Yep, it's just business.
had emphasized those
What the fuck? Please rate your answer experience. Awful. I might lose my hands, but not now.
terms repeatedly, and they had agreed every single time. Pulling out at the last second from the one thing that made the deal worthwhile left her feeling heartbroken. After reiterating her conditions, Redacted responded saying they will likely be able to fulfill their end of the deal as originally planned. She then finished the piece and sent over all the deliverables. On stream, Sinder briefly showcased the art, but made no direct mention of Nixu's Patreon, despite that being
It's a shout out, but not the Patreon, which is the found. Oh no. It's a free art. Look at that shit. It's so good. I did see that from one of the live stream or one of the videos came out for the Clippers, but god damn, I like that shit. Can I get a free one? Alright, you know what? I'll give it to Tsubaki here. If you wanted the art, here, this is the model. I just picked her up right now. So yeah. Look at that shit, I can't believe this is a 3D art and This is a nice art. God damn.
A clearly agreed upon part of their deal, and something Red had reconfirmed earlier. Instead, she only vaguely insinuates that they can check out the silver letters at the bottom of the art. The word Patreon is in fact never even spoken. It was like she was afraid to say it.
This super pretty art piece is by Nyx on Twitter. Nixu Art is their at on Twitter. But yeah, it's so pretty.
Okay, so it did show on the Patreon. I did forgot this part. So if this is showing, that will be fine.
Pretty, and I'm actually going to be retweeting it on Twitter right now, so you guys can also head over to my Twitter to see it if you want to check out her Twitter. And there's some silly little letters on the bottom of the image for other things that you can see from this art, and to support Nyx and check out all the other cool stuff that they got going on over there.
She also didn't show the censored, not safe for work art variant that Nixu had done, which was meant to generate interest in the uncensored version and drive traffic to Nixu's Patreon and Cinder's Fansly. Instead, she made a vague gesture toward the art and told viewers they could find the artist through an old art retweet. Yes, she showed my art, but there's a big difference between showing it and honoring the deal. The worst part, Nixu streamed the process with her fans watching and cheering her on, all while pretending to be happy, even though she was falling apart inside. She ends her document with one request. An artist is a person too. Please treat your artist well, honor your professional deals, and respect people around you.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. A community once built on friendship, passion, and trust, undone by backdoor sabotage, manipulation, and lies whispered in the name of business. Perhaps if Sinder hadn't built her entire brand around being a wholesome, supportive, good vibes only VTuber, the backlash wouldn't have hit this hard. But the dichotomy between the image she projected and the person revealed in these documents was just too great. It left her community shaken, disappointed, and for many, utterly heartbroken. This wasn't just one mistake, it was a pattern, and every time Sinder had a chance to throw someone under the bus, she took it. In the end, Cinders didn't just lose her friends, she lost the trust of an entire industry. And to think Nurosama predicted this months ago? It's almost scary, like Skynet scary.
Do you have many friends?
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends.
They're not just acquaintances, right?
Goddamn hell, that's why we love Nurosama. That's why we like Nurosama. God dang.
Thank you so much for watching. That's all I got for you guys today, and thank you to everyone who helped put this together, especially the folks in my Discord. If you want to join the community, we're over at discord.gg/Rima, and it's honestly turning into a really supportive little space. If you've enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe
Sure, that's gonna be the end of
button,
it.
leave a like, and check out my Patreon for more deep dives, bonus content, and to help support the channel directly. Plus, if you subscribe, you get to see every video in advance, and you get to have your name immortalized in my bloopers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's gonna be all of the video right now. So yeah, I may cut some part. I hope she doesn't mind for this one because this video is very long. Like the last video has taken like an hour. Now it's also taken an hour also. But anyway, I really do hope that everyone knows something of what's happening here. And yes, in my take, when it comes to the VTubing part, is you gotta protect your community. That's all. You gotta protect it because those are the people who watch you and support you. It's just like a television show. The show must go on, but without hurting someone else of, including the business. Yes, we needed the business also so that you can still live longer and the channel can be still maintained, but if it's not well funded, well, you're gonna be fucked. Yeah, so that's why, if we're glad to, I'll be ending the video, and I know this is a long part. Thank you very much, and I hope she doesn't mind to react this video. Please don't mind. Stay safe, everyone, and please save your money for anyone else. This is a long journey, boys. Bye for now.